Hi, it's Hatham again, and this is another one of our how-to videos around the power calculator on superchargerperformance.com. What I'm going to talk about today is timing advance and tuning your timing curve. First, we're going to talk about some of the underlying concepts of ignition timing and timing advance. Then we're going to take a look at simulated timing curves. Then we're going to summarize with some insights on how you can use this information to increase your horsepower by advancing or retarding timing in the right places to gain more power. First of all, let's look at a 4-stroke engine animation. As you can see here, this is top dead center when the piston reaches the top of the bore, and this down here is bottom dead center when the piston is all the way down in the bore. Usually when we talk about timing advance, we talk about BTDC, or before top dead center. Usually the spark plug ignites the mixture before the piston reaches top dead center in the compression stroke. Now the reason why we fire the plug early is that the mixture of air and fuel, and possibly water, methanol, or nitrous, takes some time to burn, and so the flame front takes some time to travel outwards from the spark plug and consume all of the air inside this top volume up here inside the chamber. This top volume is comprised of the top volume inside the cylinder head as well as any dish in the surface of the piston or any cut valve reliefs. Once the flame has consumed a large portion of the air-fuel mixture, this flame trapped between the piston and the cylinder head creates peak cylinder pressures, and it is this cylinder pressure and expanding flame that pushes down on the piston, making it rotate. Now I have a picture here of peak cylinder pressure versus crank angle, and if you look at this point here about 30 degrees before top dead center where we ignite the mixture, and this is our spark event, you can see it takes some time in angles of rotation to create peak cylinder pressure of about 30 atmospheres or close to 500 psi, and you can see that these events for 5 consecutive combustion events vary in magnitude and in their exact timing. So timing isn't an exact science when you come to real world conditions because there is some variation between every consecutive cycle, but we can try and target our timing so that these peaks about here line up with top dead center to catch the piston in its motion just as it crosses top dead center. Now the trick here is you have to synchronize the piston rotation with the flame front burn rate so that you can hit the piston with peak cylinder pressure just as it crosses top dead center and thus deliver all the force of the combustion into rotation inside the engine. If you advance the timing too much, you catch the piston on its way up during the compression stroke and you slow down its movement and you lose power. If you retard the timing too much, the piston outruns the flame front and very little power is transferred from the combustion into rotation. So there is a perfect timing setting based on these two things. Piston speed, which is affected by RPM, rod-stroke ratio, and flame front travel speed, which is affected by factors like mixture density, fuel to alcohol ratio, octane levels, and compression ratio. Now let's talk a little bit about the two main factors affecting timing advance. The first is RPM. As RPM increases, the piston speed increases. Let me go back to my animation here. The piston speed increases, and the thing is that the piston speed increases linearly with RPM, but the flame front travel speed only increases slightly with RPM. The reason the flame front travel speed increases is that there is more turbulence with higher RPMs inside the cylinder and a better mixture of air and fuel, which allows the fractal moving flame front to travel faster outwards. So going from 700 RPMs to 7,000 RPMs, the piston increases its speed by a factor of 10, but the flame front only increases its speed by a factor of about 3. So in a sense, the piston is outrunning the flame front, and to resynchronize the mixture so that we can catch the piston at top dead center, we need to further advance ignition timing. To make up for this effect, the timing advance at 7,000 RPMs needs to be about 3 times the timing advance at idle, and that's how mechanical timing came to be. You start with a base timing of about 10 degrees before top dead center, and it grows out to about 32 degrees of timing near red line, and that keeps the flame front hitting the piston with peak cylinder pressure right as it crosses top dead center as the RPMs change and as the piston speed and the flame front travel speeds change.